All right. What is up, sister friend? Welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with myself, Coach Emily. Today, we are talking about my weekend at my retreat. If you missed last week's episode, I talked a lot about stress addiction, where that comes from, how to start tackling it, and overcoming it. Stress addiction is a huge part of what we work on when we do energetic scheduling in my one-on-one sessions. So highly recommend checking out that episode if you have no idea what stress addiction looks like, or if you are wondering if you are addicted to stress. So I wanted to use today's episode. I know you guys voted on some episode topics, but my weekend this weekend was top tier, amazing, awesome, everything I needed and more. And I want to share it with you guys. So this past weekend, so I booked a retreat here in Colorado. I didn't have to get on a plane. It was literally here in Colorado. And it was through Golden Poppy, which is an apothecary here in Fort Collins. It's an amazing apothecary. If you're ever in Fort Collins, highly recommend just stepping in there because it has all the vibes. If you are into that kind of stuff, your heart will be like, oh, I want to buy literally everything. So with that being said, they were hosting this retreat, and it was called an elemental energy retreat. And it was all about the elements: fire, air, water, earth. And I booked this retreat like back in March or like spring sometime. And, a lot has happened since then. And I feel as though, sorry, I'm getting situated. For those watching the YouTube, you're probably like, what is happening? I booked it a long time ago, and a lot has happened. And so this past weekend, if you're listening to this episode, was the end of September, walking in October, fall, just stepping into fall and walking into fall. And it was also the weekend of the full moon in Aries and the start of Libra season. And God's timing is literally always perfect. I I felt like this weekend was exactly what I needed to close the chapter of the last 30 years of my life. And I know that sounds like very profound, but it is totally true. So night one was fire, the element of fire, understanding the element of fire, understanding what that means for you, what it feels like, where it is represented in our lives. And we started with fire to burn away what we wanted to let go of. And until this moment, I didn't realize what I needed to let go of. I felt like this year I've done a lot of work on myself. I've let go of a lot of things. I mean, I've really like reconstructed my whole business. I had to do a lot of letting go this year. But this was a letting go of like the full 30 years of my last 30 years of my life. So I just turned 31 on September 7th. This retreat was this past weekend, so September 29th. And I just think it was the perfect closure for that. So walking into the meditation of figuring out what I needed to let go of, you get really still. And for me, I realized that there was two pieces of me. And the old me was like this stale, like crusty, stale bread, almost like skin that needed to be peeled off. And I know that's pretty descriptive, but that's literally what it felt like this dry, but sticky, stale energy that was just like clinging on. And, reflecting back on all the things that I've worked through in therapy, all the things that I've kind of like walked through, I'm like, this makes so much bloody sense. And that was me letting her go. So I'm actually going to pull up my journal prompt and share it with you guys. Give me 1 second. So you ripped the journal out and you burned it. So obviously I can't read it exactly what it said, but my intention for the weekend was to feel super connected to my body and my intention and my intuition. I wanted to feel like I had shed away the energies that aren't mine anymore. And I intend to gain clarity in my vision and closure and peace on the chapter I just walked through. That was my intention before the fire. element ceremony. And then in that, I realized I was holding on to all of these energies that I had from my past. So old Emily, I love her. She was amazing. I don't even want to call her old Emily because it's just, I'm in a new version of myself. And that version of me is no longer existing within my energetic field. But she worked really hard. She went through a lot of shit in her 30 years. And I'm really proud of her. And I give her a lot of credit because I wouldn't be here today without her. But she needed to go. She's done all that she can do. There is no more left for her to do. It's time for this version of me, this fresh version of me, to step into her journey and take on the next challenges so that whenever that next chapter comes, I'm ready. And it may be the next 30 years, it may be the next 5 years. I don't know. But I do know that Emily, up to 30, that chapter is closed. That book is closed. We're on book number 2, right? That was book number 1. We are now on book number 2. And I can see that with so much clarity now. I mean, it was just, this whole weekend was like, bam, 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 bam. God was giving me everything that I needed because I'm stepping into a brand new chapter of my life, starting a brand new business. I'm starting a brand new marriage. Have stepped into a whole new version of myself. And that stale energy that was just like sticking around is going to hold me back, is going to stop me from those things. Not because it was a bad energy. It's just, you can't exist in 2 places at once. They call that the liminal space. And when you're in the liminal space, you have to make decisions. You have to step through the door, right? I'm about to sneeze. Hold on. So I was in a liminal space and I didn't even know I was in a liminal space until this weekend. And it was just so many amazing pieces that I think are really important to share. And I was really just like sitting with all of these energies and knowing that I was encompassed in all of them. And, there was this feeling of, I am around people that get me. I'm around people that understand me. And that's not always, easy to find. I can express myself. I don't feel judged and I feel connected and I feel purposeful. I even wrote like, I feel like an angel because this feels so good. I felt so clear. I felt so open. I felt after that burning that like, I really let go and stepped into this new version of me. And there's a lot more into the weekend and, going through all of the elements, earth, air, water. And we did, and I won't go into every single one of them, but there was another really awesome pivotal moment. Well, 2 more pivotal moments. We had to walk through what element we went through a meditation to figure out what element we are just naturally drawn to or that we choose. And I usually choose earth. I very much connect with earth energy. I very much feel earth energy. Earth is that steady, that constant, that container that holds. And I really feel earth. I do. But I also feel air and water a lot. Fire is hard for me. I feel air and water a lot and as well. But earth is the one I gravitate towards. And earth gave me a gift. And the gift that earth gave me was reminding myself when I am rooted, my light shines. My golden light shines, and constantly staying grounded will allow my light to shine. And that's my intention for this month, is to stay grounded and present, but also just looking at that and reflecting on my whole year of what I've been doing. It was when I wasn't grounded, when I wasn't allowing to be held by earth energy, allowing myself to be held by the things that I know are true, that my light wasn't shining, that I felt inauthentic, that I felt like I was up in the clouds and couldn't make a decision, right? Getting too much up in my head. And that's that air energy and getting too much caught up into like what I should be doing and trying to force things. And that, that wasn't working for me. Hence the complete shift this year. And I think it was necessary, and God knew what he was doing because he always does. His plan is always bigger than mine. And he has always got, he's always, he knows. And I was trying to force and I was trying to fit in and I was trying to mold, and that's not me. Okay. And I think this is why it's so important to understand your energetic profile and to get so in touch with your energy and sit with these things and understand them. And you have to work on it, obviously. But I was living for so long from a place of disconnectedness. from a place of force, from a place of an authenticity that I didn't even know I was doing. I mean, I lived so much of my life as a completely different energetic profile than I truly am. And that's why I had a lot of trauma. That's why I had a lot of hardships, a lot of like choices that didn't feel correct, because I was living in an energetic profile that was not mine, And this is why energy is so important, guys. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Like, God made you out of energy. You are energy. You are these things. And the more that you can get in tune with them and understand them and work with them, the more your choices are going to feel like your own, and that you are living the life you actually want to live. Because not everybody is the same. We are all so different. Yes, we're the same, but we're different, right? We all have different ways of how we operate, how we look at things, how we perceive the world. That was what makes it so beautiful. And reminding myself that the more I am grounded, the more I will make more decisions, and the more I'll be able to shine and fulfill my purpose in this world. And that leads to the other huge moment in this weekend, was stepping into my, like, what is my superpower, right? Like, asking God, what is my superpower, right? Like, really sitting with it. And my superpowers, as a projectors in human design, if you don't know anything about human design is amazing. Check it out. Anyways, I'm a projector, and projectors have a hard time seeing themselves clearly. And I have felt that my whole life. I don't see myself very clearly. People will say things about me, and I'm like, what? For example, for pretty much the majority of my life, believed that I was shy, that I was not outgoing, that I was all of these things. And that's not true. I'm very extroverted when I need to be, or like when I want to be, when I'm feeling like myself, when I'm in alignment, when I'm doing the things I'm supposed to do. I'm very extroverted. But people would always be like, Emily, you're so outgoing, you're so friendly, you're all these things. And I never saw myself that way. So anyways, to this weekend with the meditation around this, I realized that my superpowers are that I am warm, friendly, and inviting. I make people feel comfortable. I help people feel comfortable. And it's something that I never gave myself credit for, because I just thought that was just like a normal thing. Like, people feel comfortable around me. People feel like they can trust me. People feel like they, can talk to me, that I'm not going to judge them. And these are all true things, because this is part of who I am. And that's a superpower. And I didn't give it credit as a superpower. And then the other superpower is that I love inspiring people. I love encouraging and inspiring people. One of my biggest flexes is I'm your biggest cheerleader. When you don't believe in yourself, I will believe in you. I'm going to get emotional, because I really do. This is something that I struggle with. Like, for people like who, without privilege, who, live in shitty, sick circumstances, like, I want to encourage them. Like, I can't even talk about people that are like living in underprivileged children in Baltimore City or whatever. Like, it really brings me down, because there's all these humans that have so much potential, and that just need someone to believe in them. Like, it goes that deep for me. Like, when I see someone who doesn't believe in themselves, I can't help myself. Like, I want to encourage you. I believe everyone has untapped potential, if that makes any sense. And one of my biggest superpowers is I'm your biggest cheerleader. I'm going to believe in you. I will believe in you till the sun burns out. And I didn't give that enough credit. I didn't realize that was a superpower. And that was really helpful for this weekend. And that was kind of when we were embracing the air energy. And that's about your head, that's in your head and your divine mind, and really thinking clearly and understanding who you are a little bit. And so that was really helpful for me. So with all of these things, I wanted to talk about this weekend because it was so powerful. And if you haven't done a retreat before, definitely recommend searching for some, even in your area. This one was in my area. I didn't have to go anywhere fancy. It was literally like an hour from my house, and it was beautiful, because every time I go to one of these things, I come back better, like more connected. I feel better. I feel like I've grown a shit ton in a short amount of time. And that's what these kind of retreats can do for you, and can really like give you the clarity that you need and that you've been looking for. And it's just so cool, the timing of this retreat. because of where I am. I'm in such a pivotal part of my life, and a lot of it has to do with our wedding coming up, but it also has to do with how I've completely changed my business. And yes, I don't always have the words to describe what I'm doing. And yes, I am, it is a little messy right now. And yes, I'm not, I don't have 1,000 clients or anything like that. But this year has been so monumental in so many ways. And the wins may not be monetary wins, but they are wins for my overall life, for the fulfilling life that I want to live, to be the woman I want to be. Something I have said since I started Full Circle Coaching is you are destined for more. And I believe that about myself. I believe that about you. And this is part of me stepping into that destiny, stepping into the person that I want to be. And if you want your destiny, if you want to be a specific type of person, you want to see these things, you want to experience this, you want to make this impact, you got to go through these transformations. You got to go through these hard years. You got to allow for the transition to be hard. And you got to have the faith that it's all going to work out. Right now, I can't explain to people what's going on in my life. I don't really have the language for it. I'm working on it. But at the same time, it's not for other people to understand. So if you're a business owner and you're in a transition year and you're working through shit, or you're just starting out, that is the messiest transition year of your life, going from not a business owner to a business owner. You don't have to explain it to anyone. Trust your choices, get in alignment with your energy, understand your energy, get centered with it, work with it, lean into it, and you are going to be just fine. And have that faith. Powerful faith moves mountains, and it doesn't have to be huge. Just a mustard seed. That's all he says. Mustard seed of faith can move a mountain. And so I think there was another journal thing I wanted to say in here. But I will, I guess, spare you the details. If you want to learn more about like cacao ceremonies and things like that, we did those as well. Lots of breath work, cold plunges, hot saunas. It was freaking phenomenal. But what I hope you get out of this episode is, one, feel connected to me and understand my story a little bit better, but also see something in yourself that maybe you didn't see before. And I hope I can give that to you. And also start working with your energy. If you're not feeling clear on how to work with your energy, energetic scheduling would be something I highly recommend. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you've seen, or if you're in my group chat, you've seen me talk about my energetic scheduling mini sessions. So energetic scheduling is, one, understanding your complete energetic profile, getting really like more clear on what that looks like, and then creating a schedule to support that. And figuring out your productivity windows and helping you feel not so overwhelmed with your day-to-day tasks and what you have to do throughout the week, so that you can be the most efficient and productive version of yourself, but also get like 20 hours back in your week. That's what happened to me. I was able to have, I don't even work on the weekends anymore. And that's because I'm so productive during the week. I don't have to. And I get everything that I want to get done. And so that there's this balance of grind and rest. And through energetic scheduling and knowing your energy, you can create that for yourself. That is possible because I do it every single week and I have 2 jobs. And so that's energetic scheduling. And I would say that's a really good place to start, to get to know your energy a little bit better. You get 3 one-on-one sessions with me so that we can really make sure this is applying well in real life, make any tweaks, adjustments. You'll also get your own custom energetic schedule so that you have something you can actually apply to your life, in a group chat. So the link is in the show notes if you are interested in that, or you can just message me on Instagram if you have any questions or want to chat about it more. Feel free. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for listening. I always appreciate it. Please share this podcast with your friends or anyone you feel like that would connect with what we talk about here. Next week, I have a special guest, Katie Smith, who was my adventure coach. I'm interviewing her in that episode. It's going to be freaking phenomenal. So please stay tuned for that. That's going to be next week. And I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will talk to you soon.